monitor it. Because if you are overloading, then within the same server, other client will suffering as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of our duty to balance it out. I mean, to monitor the server, and then at the same time, you don't need to worry anything about that.
So I found that, in fact, if I'm trying to use what the internet service I require is for server, in the server side, then this is a real trend that it seems that I can pay less and get more. Yeah, but if I was in the other side, I try to, if I was using it as a client or as a customer to browse the internet, then it's another story.
Yeah, it's another story, of course. But then the cloud computing service is not actually target B2C, you know. It's B2B business because it's dealing with an application, you know. And then at the same time, it's B2B model, so that we don't need to squeeze the business into like, well, if you use like Windows, for example, I'm providing a cloud computing as a platform of document sharing, okay? And if you type this character, I will charge you more. It doesn't make sense like that, okay? Yeah.
Just wondering, sorry. A little bit sidetracked. The topic is actually on telecom and cloud computing.
Yeah.
But I mean, basically, aren't you actually entering the market which, let's say, Amazon S3, or as you mentioned, Rackspace has their own subsidiary that does, and they charge you by per cycle. I mean, I went to the website before, they charge you by per cycle, exactly like S3, you know, how much space you use. So, in a way, it's actually maybe it's because the telco itself is running. Are you saying that is moving towards the direction that you're competing in the same space as they are because the telco is running out of other products to to sell, or or what? And let's say for a client, why should I choose, let's say, a telco, local telco, over, let's say, Rackspace or Amazon S3 or whatever, you know? So.
Depends, because we still got different, like, you get a price difference. For example, local service provider could provide cloud computing as well.
Of course.
But of course, you are talking about, like, I'm only serve like Hong Kong people. For example, I'm providing a Hong Kong map. Like.
No, I mean, are you saying that telco is moving towards a direction, as in they're trying to do cloud computing and start selling such services?
Yes.
And but aren't they entering already quite a market whereby there's already entrenched players, or and then there's talk about, like, let's say, for example, I mean, I've been hearing things like there's even a P2P cloud sharing thing, whereby, let's say, our friend there has dual quad Xeon processors. When he sleeps, he can sell his excess CPU cycle to me. Maybe I wake up, I work at night, he works in the daytime, things like this.
Right.
So I mean, is it already a very crowded space already, in a sense, for a telco to try to go in?
I don't think so, because, like, you mean, like, because right now the current situation is that the current, like, the free processing power is going to waste.
Of course.
In any sense, okay. The cloud computing just leverage the free space to use it up, and that's how the service provider are going to earn money.
I think telcos are vertically integrated because they provide the telephone lines to rent space to those providers. Actually, they can push the prices really low because they hold the line.
Yeah, they could, but the thing is that they, like for example, if they start charging by, let's say, for example, how many meg you use, how many cycles you use. Like, if, let's say, I have a thin client or what, the old term would be the network computer, and then you start charging like per X amount or whatever. Like, I think there's some telco in the US was talking about trying to do that, and it was a big hoo-ha, and everybody was like, no, we're just going to pay X amount. It's going to be free for all, as in unlimited bandwidth and all that stuff, and they actually back down again. I mean, so it's very hard to change the usage pattern.
Put it this way. In a service provider view, I only got, for example, let's say 1G to overseas, okay?
Of course.
I let you use freely. Think about how many customers going to hold it. Well, one particular service provider in Hong Kong is actually over leverage the existing
I think
barrier.
I bet a lot of telco all face the same problem. Like you have like really power users at home who's
no, they're not actually doing that. I mean, let's not count the so-called power user.
Okay.
It's actually like they got, let's say, only got like 10 megabits.
They're overselling.
Overselling is okay, but they are not doing any planning. They just oversell it to like 10,000 clients, and then the pipe will be full
all the time.
Soon. All the time, yeah, all the time. Think about this, okay? You pay what you get, okay? Let's say if I don't count your usage, you are using like 99% full pipe. I don't mind. Do you mind? Like your SQL will time out and
if I pay like $10 a month, of course I don't mind, you know. If I pay like 10,000 a month, of course I will be minding, you know. So I guess.
Well, it depends. It depends. It will crash your application as well. So that's why cloud computing is also the management, the quality control, and it's major about the management and the quality of service.
Can you give some examples of what's currently being adopted for cloud computing and what's the future trend?
Okay. Current situation is that we are talking about appliance. We like compress the whole operating system, for example, including the SQL server, into one single image. If you need it, just click a button and deploy. Okay. And this is currently the model will be coming up right now. It's like the Amazon got like a lot of so-called thin client or something like that. To, for example, if you want to implement the Windows 2003, you can just run the model, run the appliance, and click and implement it. And the future, what I could see is that they will fall into a trend is that I'm only providing a service, an API for you. In the front end, none of the end user will notice that, hey, you are using the cloud computing. They won't notice it. They don't even know it. Because you are actually using less resource to maintain your server, to monitoring your server, to monitoring your service, and the high availability. It's all done by the service provider instead of you're using the in-house engineer to help you to build it out. That cuts a lot of costs.
So the future is like having your main machine somewhere elsewhere. You're just looking at the screen.
Elsewhere.